covers more than 70% of our planet. For thousands of years, humans feared it, but eventually mankind stopped fearing the sea and started weaponizing it. Empires discovered a terrifying truth: the nation with the biggest warships controlled the world. These floating monsters were not built for peace. They were built for domination, for revenge, and for war. Some warships carried more people than entire villages. Some fired shells heavier than cars, and modern aircraft carriers can launch attacks from hundreds of miles away from wooden ships carrying slaves. But to understand the most terrifying ships ever created, we must go back to where revenge on the ocean truly began, to nuclear-powered floating cities. Tonight we uncover the 7 levels of the biggest warships ever built.
This is the level 1.
4 steel battleships, the 4 nuclear submarines. There was a wooden giant that ruled the oceans. Launched in 1765, HMS Victory became one of the most feared warships on Earth. HMS Victory, built from nearly 6,000 oak trees, this floating fortress carried 104 massive guns and more than 800 sailors. At over 69 meters long, Victory wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of British power. But her most legendary moment came during the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Battle of Trafalgar under Admiral Horatio Nelson, whose Victory charged directly into the combined French and Spanish fleets. Horatio Nelson cannons exploded, smoke covered the sea, and thousands fought in one of history's greatest naval battles. Nelson would die aboard the ship he loathed, but Victory helped Britain dominate the oceans for generations. Today, more than 250 years later, HMS Victory still survives in Portsmouth, England. The world's oldest commissioned warship, a wooden legend that refused to sink. Empires collapsed, generations disappeared. Yet HMS Victory still stands, watching the ocean it once ruled.
This is the level 2.
Centuries wooden warships ruled the oceans. Then, in 1862, America unleashed something the world had never seen before. The USS Monitor was small, strange, and terrifying. Built during the American Civil War, this ironclad warship introduced a revolutionary weapon, a rotating armored gun turret. For the first time in history, a warship could fire in every direction. Its iron armor made wooden ships almost useless. Cannonballs that once destroyed ships now bounced harmlessly off metal. Naval warfare changed forever. On March 9, 1862, Monitor faced its greatest enemy. Battle of Hampton Roads. The Confederate ironclad seized Virginia. The two armored monsters fought for hours in the first ironclad battle in history. The battle ended without a true winner, but one thing became terrifyingly clear: wooden warships were dead. Months later, Monitor sank in a violent storm near Cape Hatteras, but its legacy survived. Because from that moment on, every nation on Earth raced to build stronger iron warships.
This is the level 3.
1906, one warship changed the world forever. HMS Dreadnought. Massive cannon impact sound. The HMS Dreadnought wasn't just powerful, it made every other battleship obsolete overnight. Built for the British Royal Navy, this steel giant carried 10 massive 12-inch guns capable of destroying enemies from unbelievable distances. At nearly 18,000 tons, Dreadnought was faster, stronger, and deadlier than anything the oceans had ever seen. It was also the first battleship powered entirely by steam turbines, giving it terrifying speed for its time. The world panicked. Britain and Germany immediately began a massive naval arms race. Every nation feared falling behind. Suddenly, controlling the oceans meant controlling the future. Explosions, shipyards working day and night, entire fleets became outdated in a single moment. During World War I, Dreadnought even rammed and sank a German submarine. World War I, the only battleship in history to destroy a submarine this way. HMS Dreadnought didn't just change warships, it started a global race for bigger guns, bigger fleets, and bigger destruction.
This is the level 4.
During World War II, Japan built a monster, Yamato. The Yamato was the largest and most heavily armed battleship ever created. At over 72,000 tons, this steel giant carried 9 terrifying 18-inch guns, the biggest guns ever placed on a warship. Each shell weighed more than a car and could strike targets over 40 kilometers away. Japan believed Yamato would dominate the oceans and destroy any enemy standing in its path. But the world was changing. Battleships were no longer kings of the sea. Aircraft carriers had become the new rulers. As Japan began losing the war, Yamato was sent on a final mission, Operation Tango, a one-way suicide journey toward Okinawa Bay. Thousands of sailors knew they would never return home. Then, American aircraft attacked from the sky. Bombs ripped through the giant battleship. Fire consumed the deck, and in 1945, Yamato exploded beneath the Pacific Ocean. More than 3,000 crew members were lost. The fall of Yamato marked the end of the battleship era, a giant built for revenge destroyed by the future of war.
This is the level 5.
After the age of giant battleships, humanity created something even more terrifying. USS Gerald R. Ford, not just a warship, a floating military city. The USS Gerald R. Ford is the largest and most technologically advanced warship ever built. At over 1,100 feet long and nearly 100,000 tons, this nuclear-powered giant carries more than 75 aircraft and thousands of sailors. Powered by 2 nuclear reactors, Ford can travel for decades without refueling, but its deadliest feature is its Ford uses electromagnetic launch systems capable of launching fighter jets with incredible precision and power. Every second, aircraft can take off carrying missiles, bombs, and surveillance technology capable of striking targets hundreds of miles away. The ship became a symbol of American naval dominance in the 21st century. For thousands aboard, this isn't just a machine, it's their home, a floating fortress operating in some of the world's most dangerous waters. The USS Gerald R. Ford proves one terrifying truth: modern war is no longer fought by single ships, it's fought by entire floating armies.
This is the level 6.
The deadliest warship on Earth as it sails above the ocean. It hides beneath it a Leo-class submarine. The Leo-class submarine is one of the most terrifying machines ever created by humanity. Powered by a nuclear reactor, this underwater giant can remain hidden beneath the sea for months. And somewhere in the darkness, nobody knows exactly where it is. Built for stealth and destruction, these submarines carry nuclear missiles capable of striking targets across entire continents. One Leo-class submarine can launch 24 Trident nuclear missiles, enough firepower to destroy civilization itself. Inside the submarine, more than 150 sailors live in complete isolation. No sunlight, no fresh air, only steel walls, silence, and the pressure of the deep ocean. For 70 to 90 days, they disappear from the world, invisible, undetectable, waiting. Some U submarines were later transformed into guided missile monsters, capable of launching more than 150 Tomahawk cruise missiles during secret operations. The Leo-class submarine became the ultimate symbol of nuclear deterrency, silent shadow beneath the ocean, capable of ending wars before the enemy even knows it's there.
This is the level 7.
After centuries of giant cannons, nuclear submarines, and floating aircraft cities, humanity created a warship from the future, the Zumwalt. The USS Zumwalt doesn't look like a normal warship. It looks like a host. Its stealth design is so advanced, enemy radar can mistake this massive destroyer for a small fishing boat, even though it stretches over 600 feet long and carries some of the world's deadliest missile systems. Unlike older warships, Zumwalt runs on an all-electric power system capable of generating enormous energy for future weapons. And the future weapons are terrifying: hypersonic missiles, precision strike systems, and technology designed for the next generation of naval warfare. The ship carries 80 vertical launch missile cells capable of striking enemies from incredible distances. But the most shocking part, this futuristic destroyer operates with only around 150 sailors. Far fewer than traditional warships. Machines are replacing manpower, automation is replacing crews, and the oceans are becoming battlefields controlled by technology. Only 3 Zumwalt-class destroyers were ever built, because the future of warfare came at an unbelievable cost. The USS Zumwalt isn't just a warship, it's a warning.